guys, so I'm traveling through India. It's July, which means it's monsoon season, so if you hear noise in the background, it's the rain coming down. Tourist season is usually between September and March, but we decided to come off season, and I'm really glad we did because it's such a beautiful place, and despite the rain we've still managed to go out and see loads of different things. Plus, because it's not tourist season, the places we've been haven't been crowded at all, and it's been really easy for us to find last minute accommodations. So as I said, we're traveling through India. We're going from the south coast to the north along the west side and then aiming to come back down on the east side. So far we've travelled down the coast of Kerala from Kochi to Trivandrum and then back up to Munnar, which is where we are currently. So this is my first part of the travel vlog showing you all the things that we've done in Kerala. We started off in Fort Kochi. I'm not going to go into too much detail about what we did there because I have done a separate video on things to do in Kochi, but this was a lovely little town and I'm really glad that we started off there. This is also where we managed to buy our bike. We got a classic Royal Enfield 500cc and this is what we're using to get around India for the rest of the journey. One thing that I really recommend doing that I didn't mention in my last video is going to see a Kathakali show. Kathakali is traditional to Kerala and this show was put on for us by the lovely people in the Napier Heritage Hotel. Because there's no talking in Kathakali, they do start off with an introduction and tell you the storyline that they will be performing. It's really interesting to see and I definitely recommend catching a show while you're in Kerala. From Kochi we got on our bike and headed down to Alappuzha, which took about 2 hours, so let's go. We stayed in the Chilanka resort in Alappuzha. It was such a nice place and this is the view from our room. He also organised a boat ride for us through the backwaters. It only cost £6 an hour and our boat captain was so lovely. He took us into his home, made us tea and showed us all his family photo albums. It was a really lovely experience. I definitely recommend doing the boat trip if you're in Alappuzha. From Alappuzha we went down to Monroe Island in Kovalam. Here we did another boat ride at sunrise and just listen to how calm it is on this island. After one night in Kovalam, we travelled down to Trivandrum where we stayed in Kovalam beach. After about 4 hours we reached Trivandrum and we got to our accommodation, which is where we're staying here, right on the beach. The next day we visited the Valley Tourist Village, which is like a little park that you can walk around, but it did have this toy train which was pretty cool to ride on, which only cost 50 rupees each. We then visited this beautiful pink mosque, but we didn't end up staying there for long because we actually got quite harassed by people asking for money, but it was still gorgeous to look at and I definitely recommend stopping by. On our last day we visited the Azimala Shiva temple, which has a massive statue of Shiva inside. You're not allowed to take pictures or record except for when you're by the statue. I would definitely recommend seeing this though because this is probably my favourite thing we did in Trivandrum. After that it was time to pack up our bike again and head back on the road. This time we headed from Trivandrum to Kovalam again, but stopping off at the Jatayu Earth Centre. This centre has the world's largest bird statue. You can get a cable car up to the top, but we decided to walk the 826 steps in the heat, which was tough, but I definitely recommend doing it. Here we are, almost at the top. You can see where the cable cars are going and you can see the claw of the bird, so we're nearly there. How are you feeling?
Pretty hot and sweaty.
We finally made it to the top. It really didn't take that long, but here is the view of the bird statue. And here is the view of the surroundings from the top. We actually planned to travel a bit further that day, but we didn't realise how late it was getting whilst we were at the Earth Centre, so we headed back to Monroe Island for the night. But again, just listen to how quiet it is on this island. Then it was time for the last part of our journey from Monroe Island up to Munnar. we decided to stop for a minute because it started to rain. As you can see, it was really heavy. But as we soon realised, it wasn't going to stop anytime soon, so we had to carry on with the journey. And here is me getting soaking wet on the back of the bike. We took a little break in the shop to get a samosa before heading back onto the road. And this was our last stop along the way to visit the waterfalls, where we saw some monkeys. After about 5 hours, we finally made it to our accommodation, and as you can see, it's still pouring it down. We had to hang all of our stuff up to dry because it was soaked through. But the next day the rain had stopped for a bit, so we decided to head out and visit Munnar. When we reached Munnar town, we decided to stop for some breakfast at this veg restaurant where we got a thali, and all of this was only £1.50 each. It was so good as well. Here are some of the lovely views we saw while driving through Munnar. Tomorrow we're leaving Kerala, and the next part of our journey will be put into another travel vlog. Thank you for watching this video and stay tuned to follow our journey.